Yesterday he was nobody, a smudge in the back row of every yearbook. Today his face is on every screen in Santa Barbara, the boy who survived a D-rank surge, the boy who destroyed his own home. They don't know the half of it. They don't know about the question, the choice, the game that appeared in a wash of blue light. The morning of Awakening Day smells like cheap cologne and floor wax. The gymnasium at Santa Barbara North High is packed with every senior in the district. Bleachers groan under the weight of parents, recruiters, and news drones hovering near the rafters. A stage stands at center court, draped in the Hunter Association's silver and black. Theo sits in the topmost row. He keeps his elbows off his knees, his back straight. The threadbare collar of his uniform scratches his neck. Below him, clusters of students buzz with predictions. Fire affinities, Earth, maybe a rare spatial if the universe is drunk. Names float up. Theo Hart gets nothing. He's invisible. He's always been invisible. A drone swoops past. A recruiter in a gray suit fans himself with a tablet. The principal calls the first name. The ceremony begins. One by one, they descend. Hands touch the stone. Mana flares. Rankings flash on the overhead screen. D, CB-, a sprinkling of B+. A girl from the swim team gets an A- water affinity, and the bleachers erupt. Her parents weep. A scout from a Frillian Academy in Europe nods and taps his wristband. The girl walks off stage with a future. Theo's stomach knots. His father isn't here, can't afford the day off from the warehouse. His mother is working a double shift at the diner. He doesn't blame them. They've already sacrificed everything. David Whitmore. The gymnasium shifts. Heads turn. Recruiters lean forward. David strides down the aisle like the heir to a throne he already owns. His blazer is custom tailored. His shoes are Italian leather. His father owns Whitmore Logistics, the city's largest shipping empire. He also signs Theo's father's disability checks. David touches the stone. The screen blazes. B+, fire affinity. A collective sigh of satisfaction. David smirks. He doesn't look at the screen. He looks at the crowd, drinking in the envy. Then, just before stepping off, he flicks his gaze up to the top row. Finds Theo, holds it, smiles. Not a greeting, a cataloging. The ceremony grinds on. Owen Park shuffles forward, big hands trembling. He touches the stone. Earth affinity. E rank. The screen flickers apologetically. Owen's face falls. He returns to his seat, head down. Theo watches him. Owen is the only friend who ever shared lunch with him. The only one who didn't look away. Then the principal calls his name. Theo Hart. Silence. Not a dramatic silence. Just the ambient hum of a gymnasium that forgot he existed. Theo stands. His sneakers squeak on the polished floor. The descent feels like a mile. Recruiters don't look up. Drones don't pivot. He reaches the stone. It's cold before he even touches it. He places his palm on the crystal. Nothing. For a breath. 2. Then a jolt. A needle of electricity shoots from his fingertips, spiderwebbing across the surface. The screen flickers. D. The letter is dull, almost apologetic. Lightning. D rank. The gymnasium doesn't even murmur. The principal coughs. Theo pulls his hand back. The spark dies. He walks back up the stairs, each step heavier than the last. D rank lightning. The bottom rung. The kind of affinity that gets you a job changing mana batteries at a substation. No academy. No sponsors. No future. Owen catches his eye and offers a weak smile. Theo can't return it. Something is wrong. The stone didn't just pulse. Something inside him woke up. A hum just behind his sternum. A whisper of static that doesn't belong to him. He sits down. The ceremony drags. He barely hears it. The static builds. Then the world fractures. A rectangle of light erupts in front of his face. Would you rather? A remained rank and live a quiet life. B sip an SSS-rank Lightning affinity and become a hunter of legend. Theo's heart stops. The gym is still there. The crowd, the principal. None of them react. They can't see it. The screen hangs in the air, a secret only for him. The screen pulses. A timer appears. 10, 9, 8. He thinks of his mother's cracked hands. His father's pill bottles lined up on the bathroom sink. The eviction notice pinned to their apartment door. A quiet life, a D-rank life, gray. He presses B. The timer vanishes. The screen shatters into a million shards of light. The shards reverse direction and plunge into his chest. The hum becomes a roar. His bones catch fire. The gymnasium tilts. Owen shouts something, but the sound is underwater. A blaring alarm erupts from the awakening stone. The drone feeds glitch. The recruiter in the gray suit drops his tablet. Every screen in the gym blinks out, then reboots with a single reading. A error. Recalculating. Rank SSS. Then the gym explodes, not figuratively. A column of white-blue lightning punches through the roof, shredding steel beams like wet paper. The shockwave hurls students from the bleachers. Alarms shriek. The fire suppression system dumps a flood of foam, and Theo, at the epicenter, sees the power leave him like a second heartbeat. It doesn't stop. It arcs through the walls, the floor, the electrical grid. A surge. A catastrophic, beautiful, horrifying surge. He screams. The world goes white. When he opens his eyes, he's lying on a stretcher. Sirens wail. A paramedic is shouting about vitals. The air tastes like ozone and burnt plastic. He lifts his head. The gymnasium is a shell. The roof is gone. The stone is a pile of smoking glass. Beyond the football field, a plume of black smoke rises. Theo's mouth forms a word, Mom. He runs. His legs shouldn't work. His body should be charcoal. But he runs. Past the ambulances, the fire trucks, the news vans already screaming headlines about a freak awakening disaster. The streets blur. People jump out of his way. A drone tries to follow. He sprints 3 miles to the east side and finds his world reduced to rubble. Oakwood Apartments is a skeleton. 5 floors of cheap drywall and secondhand furniture, now a pyre. Firefighters are still hosing the wreckage. A crowd of tenants in bathrobes and shock blankets gathers on the lawn. Theo scans faces. Then he sees her. His mother, Maria Hart, sitting on the curb, a paramedic dabbing at a cut on her cheek. His father, Leonard, stands behind her, leaning on his cane, his face a mask of ash and disbelief. They're alive. The relief is a blade. Theo stumbles forward. Maria looks up. Her eyes are hollow. The building, something surged through the wires. It just exploded. Everything is gone. Everything. She doesn't know it was him. Can't know. Theo opens his mouth to confess, but a hand clamps on his shoulder. Strong. Familiar. Owen. His friend's face is smudged with soot. Behind him, a woman with kind eyes and a toddler. You're coming with us, Owen says. It's not a question. All 3 of you, no arguments. Theo looks at his parents. His father's jaw trembles. His mother's hands won't stop shaking. The guilt is a physical weight pressing on his lungs. He did this, the SSS-rank upgrade, the surge. He destroyed their home. Before he can speak, the screen returns. Would you rather? A. Tell them the truth and be exiled. B. Lie, train in secret, and win the $1 million Youth competition to rebuild their lives. Theo's breath catches. The cursor blinks. He thinks of his mother's cracked hands. He presses B. The screen dissolves. Theo looks at Owen. Okay, we'll come. And the lie begins. The Park household is a clapboard ranch house on the south side of town with a vegetable garden out back and a porch swing that creaks. It smells like garlic and fresh laundry. They don't have much, but they have a spare room. Theo's parents sleep in it. Theo gets the couch. He doesn't sleep. He stares at the ceiling, listening to his father's labored, breathing through the thin wall, and replays the moment. The screen, the choice, the surge. SSS rank. He flexes his fingers. A tiny arc of blue electricity jumps between them. The power is still there. At dawn, he slips out to the backyard. The garden is damp with dew. Mrs. Park's tomato plants stand in neat rows. Theo raises his hand, palm up, and concentrates. The static coalesces. A bolt, not the uncontrolled cataclysm of before. He can feel the edges of it now, the shape. He whispers a word he doesn't know he knows. A window slides open. Owen sticks his head out, hair a mess. Dude was not D-rank. Theo turns. The lie curdles in his throat. He could tell Owen. Owen, who took his family in without a second thought. But the screen's warning rings in his skull. Corrode trust. He swallows. Something happened. At the ceremony. I don't know what. Owen hops out the window in his pajama pants, lands barefoot on the grass. The whole city saw the roof blow off. They're calling it a malfunction of the stone. No one's blaming you. Yet. David Whitmore is already posting about it. His dad's lawyers are sniffing around. Theo's hands clench. The static hum rises. Theo tells him. About the screen. The choices. The SSS rank. The surge that destroyed the apartment. Owen listens, his face shifting from confusion to shock to something that looks a lot like hope. So you have a magical would-you-rather game that can make you the strongest hunter in the world, but it also blew up your house? Yes. Owen grinned. The Hunter Association office in Santa Barbara is a glass and steel monolith downtown, stamped with the silver insignia of a crossed sword and staff. 3 days after the awakening, Theo and Owen walk through the automatic doors. Theo wears his father's old jacket, too big in the shoulders. Owen is in a clean button-down. The registration hall buzzes with activity. Holographic billboards display the rankings of local hunters. Active guilds recruit from kiosks. A massive screen at the far end cycles through the details of the upcoming youth competition. Grand prize, $1 million. Theo stares at the prize money. That's a new spine surgery for his father. A familiar voice cuts through the noise. Look who crawled out of the gutter. David Whitmore stands near a premium guild booth, flanked by 2 hulking teens in matching silver jackets. His B+ badge glints on his lapel. Behind him, a recruiter from Ignis Vanguard hands him a thick envelope. David pockets it without looking. David steps into their path, a D-rank Lightning failure and his E-rank dirt buddy. My dad's considering dropping your father's disability coverage. Says there's suspicious circumstances around the apartment fire. The world narrows. Theo's hand moves before his brain catches up. A spark jumps from his fingertip, arcing toward David's chest. But David is B+. He's fast. A wall of flame erupts in front of him, absorbing the spark. The fire alarm shrieks. The sprinklers trigger. The registration hall erupts in chaos. Clerk Armitage stands, shouting into a comm. Security guards with suppression cuffs converge. David is still smiling, dripping wet, unharmed, case in point. Then Clerk Armitage's voice cuts through. You, Hart, come with me, both of you now. The office is small, cluttered, and smells like mint tea. Armitage closes the door, silencing the alarms. She pulls up a holographic display. It shows Theo's awakening data. The initial D rank, then the error, the recalculation, the gap. She doesn't look surprised. She looks tired. Awakening stones don't malfunction. They read what's there. Your file says D. Your energy signature says something else. Something my clearance can't even classify. Do you want to explain that? Theo says nothing. The screen appears. Would you rather? A, trust her. B, lie. I have a system. It offers me choices. Binary. Irreversible. It upgraded my affinity during the ceremony. The surge was a side effect. Armitage's teacup pauses halfway to her lips. She sets it down. A system. Like a game interface? Mine was called Skill Tree, 22 years ago. Yours sounds more capricious. I'm not going to report you. I am going to give you a provisional license under a redacted rank. Classified development. You'll be allowed to register for the youth competition, access the spell library, take guild contracts. In exchange, you report to me weekly. No more public outbursts. You learn control. Owen exhales. Theo nods. Deal. The spell library is a vast underground vault accessed by a mana-coded elevator. Thousands of tomes float on gravity shelves, categorized by element and rank. Theo's provisional badge grants him access to the D-rank Lightning section. A single aisle, 15 books. But when his fingers brush the first tome, the screen appears. Would you rather? A. Learn a standard lightning bolt. B. Learn a SSS-rank cell. Hush bolt. He doesn't hesitate. B. The knowledge floods into his skull like a download. The spell compresses a lightning strike into a needle-thin, silent arc that leaves no visible trail. An assassin spell, perfect for hiding an SSS rank. Owen picks up an earth spell, stone shield, and a passive called Tremor Sense. They spend 3 hours in a practice room, a reinforced concrete bunker deep underground. Theo fires Hush Bolt after Hush Bolt. Each one cuts a smoking pinhole in the target dummy. Silent. Deadly. Owen erects stone shields that shatter and rebuild faster each time. Word spreads. Clips of the lobby incident leak online. Most comments are savage, but a user named @ManaWatcher posts a frame-by-frame analysis. David Whitmore barely reacted in time. That's not D-rank output. Something's off. The post gains traction. A recruiter from a mid-tier guild called Storm Chasers likes it. The world is starting to look. Theo ignores it. He trains. His mother gets a job as a dishwasher at a diner 3 towns over, commuting 2 hours each way. His father picks up phone-based customer support work, his cracked voice straining through a headset. Every night, Theo comes home to the Park house, eats Mrs. Park's soup, plays blocks with little Lily. 3 weeks before the competition, the screen offers a new choice. Would you rather? A. Increases your mana cap patties by 300% with permanent nerve strain. B. Unlock a second element prematurely, water, and lows all lightning samples for 72 hours. He thinks of David's flames. He presses B. The loss is immediate. The static under his skin vanishes. He feels hollow, empty, like a limb amputated. For 3 days, he's a civilian. Owen helps him hide it. They tell Mrs. Park he's sick. In that time, something else stirs. A coldness at the base of his skull. Water. It starts as a trickle. On the morning of the 4th day, he walks to the backyard, holds out his hand, and pulls moisture from the air. A sphere of clear water, spinning like a jewel. He throws it against the fence. It cuts a perfect circle through the wood. He has 2 affinities now, lightning and water, a hybrid. David Whitmore's social feed shows him at a training camp in the mountains, sponsored by Ignis Vanguard. He posts a video of himself incinerating a target dummy with a new spell, Fire Serpent. The caption reads, "See you soon, Sparky." Thousands of likes. Theo closes the app. He doesn't need likes, he needs results. 2 weeks before the competition, the quartet forms. Rena Choi is a water awakened with a C+ rank and a chip on her shoulder. She approaches Theo at the association training grounds. "I've been watching your clips. You're not D rank. I want in." We team up, we split the prize. You take the million, I take the scholarship. She snaps her fingers. A boy steps out from behind a pillar. Marcus Lin, C rank, wind. He's my cousin. He's not a fighter, but he's a genius at mana flow calculations and can create wind barriers. Marcus waves shyly. "I can also redirect projectiles, if you need." Owen walks up. Rena shrugs. Theo takes it. The team is formed. The world notices. A local news blog runs a story. Underdogs are upset, Meet Team Tempest. The name sticks. Someone in the comments calls them the charity case crew. David's fans pile on. The pressure mounts. 1 week before the competition, the screen offers a compromise. Restriction: fire Affinity to mask the lightning. He presses B. The screen uploads a spell called Ember Fist. A sad, flickering punch of flame. He tests it. His fist ignites. The flames are orange, weak, distinctly D rank. Perfect. He'll be the boy with weak fire and a spark of lightning. Underestimated. Consequence: 20% mana efficiency drop for the duration of the tournament. The youth competition arena is a converted football stadium downtown, repurposed with mana-shielded walls, holographic scoreboards, and a capacity crowd of 20,000. The morning of the first round, the air is electric. News drones swarm the sky. Commentators warm up their microphones. Across the city, millions watch the live stream. Team Tempest waits in the locker room. Theo wears a black combat uniform, no insignia. Owen's hands are wrapped in stone-studded gloves. Rena's hair is pulled back, a water flask strapped to her hip. Marcus adjusts his glasses, muttering calculations. The bracket shows their first opponents. Team Ironclad, a four-man squad of earth and fire users. A screen flickers to life, the face of Director Vance, a silver-haired woman. Welcome to the 52nd Annual Youth Competition. 50 teams, 1 champion. Fight with honor. The prize awaits. The crowd roars. Theo catches his reflection in a locker mirror. He looks older, harder. Owen claps his shoulder. The buzzer sounds. The arena floor is packed dirt, scattered with rocks and shallow pools. The mana shields hum, a translucent dome sealing them in. Team Ironclad stands across the field. Surge, a tank of a kid with an earth hammer manifested. 2 fire users, twin brothers with matching buzz cuts. A woman with a steel staff, earth and metal hybrid. Theo's team huddles. Stick to the plan. Owen, shield, and tremor sense. Rena, you and I flank with water. Marcus, wind barriers and any projectile redirection. Surge is the threat. We take him down first. The horn blasts. Surge charges. The ground trembles with his earth hammer. The twins hurl fireballs. The metal woman deflects. Owen slams his palms down. A stone shield erupts, absorbing the fireballs. Chunks fly. Theo sprints left, feeling the 20% mana drain. He summons water from a pool, shapes it into a whip, and lashes at Surge's ankles. The whip connects. Surge stumbles. Rena fires a pressurized jet. Marcus erects a wind barrier. Surge roars, swings his hammer in a wide arc. Owen's shield shatters. The shockwave sends Owen skidding. Theo sees his friend hit the wall, groaning. The anger ignites. The static builds. He lets a single, controlled lightning chain arc from his fingertips. A fraction. A D-rank looking chain that jumps from Surge's hammer to his chest. Surge convulses, drops the hammer. The metal woman freezes. The twins hesitate. In that gap, Rena water blasts one twin. Theo sweeps the other's legs, and Marcus binds Surge with a vortex of wind. The fight is over in 90 seconds. The crowd is silent. Then a roar. Commentators scream about a stunning upset. They return to the lockers, the pill materializing in Theo's bag. He swallows it. The 20% drain eases slightly. They watch the rest of the matches on a monitor. David's team decimates their opponents in 40 seconds. Fire Serpent swallows the arena. David doesn't even break a sweat. The bracket narrows. The path is paved with fire. The second round is against a wind specialist team. Marcus counters them brilliantly, redirecting their own gales into chaos. The third round is against a mixed element squad with a healer. Rena targets the healer with relentless water jets, forcing them to retreat. Owen and Theo double team the tank. They win, but Owen's arm gets fractured. The fourth round is the quarterfinals. The exhaustion is bone deep. Theo's body aches from mana drain and suppressed power. His Hush Bolt remains unused. The lightning chain, now his visible signature, has everyone believing he's a dual fire lightning with low output. The ruse holds, but the semifinals loom. David Whitmore is waiting. The night before the semis, Theo sits on the park's porch swing. The screen appears, but it's different, flickering, glitching. Would you rather? A. Reveal your true power. B. Fight with your correct handicap. The cursor hovers, the screen flickers violently. A third option appears, glitching in and out. C. Sacrifice water. Fuse element. A hybrid spell. Lightning and water fused. Something no one has seen. He'd lose the water affinity for a year. The screen's timer is 5 seconds. He thinks of Rena's brother, Owen's fractured arm, his mother's cracked hands, David's smirk. He presses C. The two energies collide in his chest, twisting, merging. The screen displays a single word, Tempest Fist. He passes out on the swing. Owen finds him at dawn, carries him inside. Semifinals. The stadium is deafening. The mana shields are triple layered. Director Vance herself watches from a VIP box. The bracket shows Team Tempest versus Team Ignis Rising. A slaughter in the making, the commentators predict. The horn blows. David doesn't charge. He walks forward, arms out. Theo Hart, you know what I realized? You're hiding something. I've got a friend with Manasight. She says your core is a void, a blank. Except when it's not. So why don't you show us what you really are? The world narrows. The crowd hushes. Phones zoom in. The truth is a blade hovering over Theo's neck. He looks at his team. Rena's jaw is set. Owen nods, barely perceptible. Marcus whispers, I trust you. Theo steps forward. He doesn't summon Ember Fist. He doesn't summon Lightning Chain. He raises a hand, palm open, and the Tempest Fist ignites. David's smile falters. What is that? Theo doesn't answer. He moves. The Tempest Fist punches forward. The air screams. The vortex detaches, a spinning drill of storm energy tearing across the arena floor. David summons a fire serpent. The serpent lunges. They collide. The explosion shakes the stadium. Fire and storm devour each other, leaving a crater. Theo closes the distance. He swings again, silent. The Tempest Fist doesn't just hit, it absorbs heat, extinguishes flame on contact. David's serpent gutters. He backpedals. His team rushes to intercept. Owen's fractured shield rises. Rena's water whip yanks the wind support off his feet. Marcus's barrier deflects the earth tank's spike. Beautiful chaos. Theo corners David. His fist crackles. Father cuts my dad's coverage tomorrow. You're gonna call him, right now, and tell him to renew it, for life. David's eyes are wild. You're insane. No, I'm SSS-rank. He says it loud. The mics catch it. The stadium erupts. The screen flashes a cascade of alerts. He doesn't care anymore. The lie is over. He brings the Tempest Fist down. Not on David, on the ground. A shockwave of electrified water floods the arena, shorting out the mana shields, frying the drones, blinding every camera. The stadium plunges into darkness and screams. When the lights flicker back on, David is on his knees. The PA crackles. Director Vance's voice. Match suspended. All combatants report to the medical bay. Team Tempest advances. They win. But the cost is incalculable. The aftermath is a hurricane of consequence. The footage goes global. SSS rank. The first in a century. Governments call. Guilds send contracts worth fortunes. The Whitmore lawyers retract every threat. David vanishes from the public eye, his pride in ashes. The Park household becomes a media circus. Theo's parents sit in the living room, stunned as their son explains everything. The system, the lies, the fire. Maria weeps. Leonard's cane clatters to the floor. He doesn't speak for a long time. Then he says, you did it for us. We're not homeless, we have each other. The forgiveness is a wound that begins to close. The competition committee deliberates. Theo's revelation breaks the rules. But the public loves an underdog. 1 million signatures on a petition. The association rules in his favor. He can keep the prize money if he agrees to enroll at Aurelian Academy in Europe under strict supervision. He agrees. The check arrives on a Thursday. Theo buys his parents a small house near the parks. He pays for his father's surgery. He puts Owen, Rena, and Marcus through advanced training. The team disperses, but the bond remains. 3 months later, Theo stands on the balcony of his new apartment, a student dorm at Aurelian, overlooking a city of spires and mana lamps. The system screen appears. Calmer now. Would you rather A. Continue your training and pursue the mystery of your system's origin? B. Retire. He almost laughs. Peaceful, as if that were ever an option. He thinks of the glitch in the semifinals. The third option. Someone or something wanted him to have that hybrid spell. The game has an architect, and he intends to find them. He presses A. The screen pulses. New objective. Ascend to Silver Core. Warning. Enemies beyond ranking await. The message fades. The night hums with possibility. Theo Hart, the boy who destroyed his home and rebuilt it, steps back inside. The next chapter is waiting, and this time he'll choose the questions. Yesterday he was nobody. Today the world knows his name. Tomorrow the architect. Yesterday he was nobody, a smudge in the back row of every yearbook. Today his face is on every screen in Santa Barbara. The boy who survived a D-rank surge, the boy who destroyed his own home. They don't know the half of it. They don't know about the question, the choice. The game that appeared in a wash of blue light. The morning of Awakening Day smells like cheap cologne and floor wax.